Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. Here on my YouTube channel, I do cutting and sewing tutorials, pattern drafting, DIYs. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to cut and sew this simple handless breast tube gown, okay, with a flower design at the down. So this beautiful dress can be rocked with either with sleeve, with short sleeve, or you can either wear it like that. For me, I'm currently rocking this dress with a v-neckline polo. Okay, so you can rock yours with anything of your choice. And this is how the back look like. So I couldn't zip the dress to the top. That because I am the only one at home, so nobody to help me do this. So guys, if this is something you're interested in, keep up watching. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is called Africa print. You are going to be needing about 2 yards or 3 yards to make this dress. That depends on how big you are. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is to draft the front pattern of this dress. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across my pattern paper, which is going to be serving as the starting guide. So I will place my tape on the line I just marked. I will mark my bust points, which is 10 inches. Still placing my tape on the line, I will mark my under bust, which is 30.5 inches. I will mark from my shoulder to my waistline, which is 50 inches. So for this dress, I'm going to be adding side darts to it. So I will be adding extra 1 inch for the side dart. So instead of marking 15 inches, I will mark 60 inches. So after marking the 60 inches, I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across those points. So after marking a straight line across, I will go ahead and label it bust point, under bust, waistline. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to add my body measurement. So the first thing I will be doing here is to mark my neckline measurement. So for the neckline, I will mark 3 inches inward, then I will come down by 3 inches. We are not going to be using this neckline measurement. This is just the regular basic neckline measurement. Then I will mark half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. So from that point, I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I will go ahead and connect a slant line from the neckline to that shoulder slope I marked. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark the depth of my armhole. So to do that, I will go ahead and divide my bust by 6. Whatever I get, I will add 1.5 inch to it. I will just mark it. So that is what you see me doing. I will just mark it. That is going to be serving as my chest line. Then I'll go ahead and mark a straight line from the shoulder to that chest line. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to place my tape on the armhole like this. I will fold it into 2. I will mark the midpoint. From the midpoint, I will go in by 1/2 inch. Then I will come to the chest line. I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it. Then I'll go ahead and connect the armhole from this point to this point down to the chest line. So I will just use my French curve and connect it. After marking it, I will go ahead and take my nipple to nipple measurement. I will place my tape on the bust point line. I will mark 4 inches. I will come to the waistline. I will mark 4 inches. Then I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across like this. Then I'll place my tape on the shoulder like this. I will fold it into 2 to get the midpoint. I will mark it. Then I'll go ahead and mark a slant line from the midpoint to the bust point. So after marking it, I'll go ahead and take my dart. I will place my tape at the under bust line. I will mark 2 inches to the side front. Then I will mark 1/2 inch to the center front like this. I will come to the waistline. I will mark 2 inches to the side front. Then 1/2 inch to the center front. I will go ahead and connect the points together like this. After connecting it, I will place my tape on the under bust line. I will come down by 1/2 inch. So from that 1/2 inch, I will connect a curve line from here to here and from here to here. So I'll go ahead and use my hand to blend the sharp edge like this. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to draw out the sweetheart neckline. So first of all, I will go ahead and determine how deep I want the neckline to be. I will place my tape on the chest line like this. I will go up by 1.5 inch. Then I will mark a straight line across like this. So after marking a straight line across, I will place my ruler on this point here. I will mark a straight line. Please don't mark a slant line. Go ahead and mark a straight line. Place your ruler straight. I hope you guys understand. Then I will stop at this new line I marked earlier. This point here, I will stop here. Then what I'm going to be doing now is to go ahead and draw the sweetheart neckline. So for the sweetheart neckline, I will place my tape on the chest line. I will come down by a ½ inch. So I want the sweetheart neckline to be deep. But if you don't want yours to be deep, you can just maintain the chest line or come down by 1 inch. This just depends on what you want. I will go ahead and connect the sweetheart neckline like this. Then I'll go ahead and make the other lines visible. So I'll just place my ruler and use my marker to make the lines visible. This is the shoulder and this part is the armhole. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my chest dart. So I will place my tape on the line that connected from the shoulder to the bust point, that straight line. I will place my tape on it. I will mark 1 inch to the center front like this. Then I will go ahead and connect it like this. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to connect this shoulder dart with my French cuff to the bust point like this. I will just go ahead and make it visible around this part here. I hope you guys understand. I will just go ahead and cut it out. Please pay attention to the part I'll be cutting at. There's something I want to explain, so please pay attention. After I was done cutting it, I will pick the center front like this. I will join it to the side front. So when you are joining it, make sure the bust point line and the waistline are both meeting each other. So I will go ahead and use my seal tape to seal it down at the middle so that it will not be flying up and down. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to add my horizontal measurement. So I will place my tape on my under bust line. I will divide my under bust by 4. I will mark it there. So guys, I will just advise you should leave the under bust. Go ahead and take the waistline measurement and take your bust measurement, okay? So that once you are done cutting it, it will align with the back part of the dress. So for me, I made that mistake, so don't make the mistake. There's no need of you taking the under bust line. I will divide my waist measurements by 4. I will mark it on the waistline. I will come to the chest line. I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it. Then I will go ahead and connect the points together like this. I will extend the armhole line. Then I will make the down part visible. I hope you guys understand. Then I will go ahead and cut it out. I did not add sewing allowance to this pattern. When I'm cutting it out on the fabric, I will add it. So I will just go ahead and remove the seal tape from the center. Remember, I added 1 inch for side dart. So I'm going to be removing the side dart now. To do that, I will place my tape on the bust point line. I will mark 1 inch downward because I added 1 inch. So if you added 1.5 inch, go ahead and mark 1.5 inch. So I will mark a slant line from this point here down to the 1 inch I marked. I will just place my ruler like this and mark a slant line. So after marking it, I will go ahead and cut it out. I will not cut out everything. I will just cut it close to the edge. Then I will just go ahead and lift the down part and cover up the dart like this. Then I will go ahead and use my seal tape to seal it down a little. Then I'll go ahead and cut out this excess at the side here. So guys, this is how the front part look like. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and draft the back part. I will mark a straight line across my pattern paper, which is going to be serving as the shoulder line. I will place my tape on that line. I will mark 2 inches inward, which is going to be serving as the zipper allowance. I will go ahead and connect the points together. Then I will place my tape on the shoulder. I will mark my bust point, which is 10 inches. Then I will mark my shoulder to my waist, which is 15 inches. I will go ahead and mark a straight line across this point. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to take half of my shoulder measurement, and I will be taking that measurement from the zipper allowance line. Then I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then I will mark my round armhole. Whatever I did for the front is what I'm going to be doing for the back. No difference, okay? I will go ahead and mark a straight line across like this. This is going to be serving as the chest line. Then I will mark a straight line from the shoulder to the chest line. I will place my tape on the armhole. I will fold it into two, mark the midpoint. Then from that midpoint, I will go in by ½ inch, then connect my armhole. So basically, I'm just repeating what I did for the front. I will go ahead and mark my nipple to nipple measurement. So I will mark 4 inches on the chest line and 4 inches on the waistline. I will connect the points together. Then I will take my dart. I will mark ½ inch on both sides like this. Then I'll go ahead and mark a slant line from the chest line to that ½ inch I marked. Then once I was done, I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will mark it. I will add 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Then I will come to the chest line. I already took the bust measurements before. I will just add 1.5 inch for joining allowance. Then I'll go ahead and connect the points together. Then I will make the down part visible. I will place my tape on the waistline. I will mark ½ inch outward. Okay, this is to remove zip bulge from the dress. I will mark a slant line from the shoulder to that ½ inch I marked. Then I will just connect the points together. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark the back neckline. To do that, I will be using the front to mark for the back. So I will place the front pattern paper on it like this. As you can see, you are going to see that the armhole are equal. So I will mark the shoulder of the front at the back like this. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. So after marking it, I will use my ruler to mark a straight line to the chest line. Then I will use my French curve. I will place my French curve like this just to have a very sharp and nice curve around the back part. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. I will go ahead and extend the that line. So once I was done cutting it out, this is how it look like. This is the front and this is the back. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and cut it out on my fabric. So as you can see, my fabric is folded into two. Then I went ahead to pin the center front and the side front on my fabric. The reason why I went ahead to pin it like this before cutting it out is because of the design of the fabric. I want the design to align on both the center front and the side front. That's why I went ahead to pin it equal. The next thing I will be doing is to cut it out. So when cutting it out, add ½ inch at the armhole and 1 inch at the side for joining allowance. Then at the front, I will add ½ inch for joining allowance, and at the down, I added ½ inch for joining allowance. I will do the same thing for this other side. Okay, so after cutting it, I will notch the under bust line on both sides so that when I want to join it together, it will be very easy for me to see. I will also go ahead and cut out the back just like as you can see me doing. So I added ½ inch for joining allowance and I added 1 inch at the side just like as I did for the front. So guys, I'm done cutting it. This is how it looked like. After I was done cutting it, I went ahead to cut out the lining as well. And on the main fabric, I went ahead to iron cloth stain on it. I did that for all the main fabric, both the front and the back. So I'm going to be cutting out breast tube for the front part. To do that, I will just go ahead and cut through the underline of my pattern paper. Okay, then for the side, I will just place my French curve and mark a curve line around the top like this. Then I will go ahead and curve the side and curve the down. So this is optional, it's not compulsory you must add breast tube. So if you want to add, just go ahead and add. If you don't want to add, that is fine as well. So I will go ahead and fold my breast tube into two. Okay, so after folding it into two, I will place the center front of the pattern paper on it like this. I will pin it down there, cut it out. Okay, then I will also fold the other part into two. I will place the side front. I will cut it out like this. So guys, I'm done cutting it out. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and gum it on the dress. So I'll just go ahead and open up the breast tube like this. I will place it on the dress. I will not place it from the start. I will come down by ½ inch before pinning it on the dress. And the part that has gum is the side that is facing the fabric. I will also go ahead and pin the breast tube to the side of the dress. So just to make sure I'm on the right track and I am not messing this up, I will just go ahead and place my pattern paper on my fabric like this, then place the breast tube on it just to make sure I am placing it right. So guys, in case you are kind of confused, you can also use this idea or this method. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and iron the breast tube on it like this. So guys, after I was done ironing it, this is how it look like. This is the back. So I will just turn it to the front. I will go ahead and pin the three pieces together. So I will pin the side front to the center front like this. I will start pinning it from the underbust. Remember, I notched the underbust earlier. So I will pin it to the down and pin it to the top. After pinning it, I will go ahead and pin the other side like this. After I was done pinning it, I will take it to the same machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch. Then I'll go ahead and sew this other side. So please pay attention to the back part. I will go ahead and line in the back like this. So I'll go ahead and pin it down. After pinning it, I will take it to the same machine. I will sew from the shoulder down to the neckline, down to the zipper area like this. I will also do the same thing for the other side. Okay, this is the only part I'm going to be sewing. I'm not going to be sewing the armhole and also the side yet, but I'm going to be doing that later. So guys, I'm just sewing it. I will just go ahead and notch the front like this. After notching it, I will also go ahead and notch the back like this, the neckline. I will just notch it a little. Then after notching it, I will turn it to the front like this, okay? The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and iron the breast tube. I will just go ahead and iron it at like this. Then after ironing the back, I will iron the front like this, okay? So when you are ironing it, go ahead and use your hand to mold it just to give it that breast tube cup. So this is how it looked like after I was done ironing it. You can see how beautiful this is. So I also went ahead to do the same thing for the lining. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and lining the dress. So I will place both of them together like this, right side facing each other. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down. So when pinning it, please take your time and arrange it. And after sewing it, if you notice that the lining is bigger than the main dress, then you can go ahead and reshaping it again so that both of them will be equal. After I was done pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it like this with 1/2 inch. I will sew the armhole and also the side with 1/2 inch. So guys, I'm done sewing it. I will just go ahead and notch the front like this and trim out the excesses at the edge. Then I'll also do the same thing for this other side. I'll go ahead and notch the armhole so that when I turn it to the front, it will be relaxed. Once I was done with the trimming, I will turn it to the front like this. So after turning it to the front, I will go ahead and iron it. Just like as you can see, I've gone ahead to iron it. If you check the dress, you are going to see that the side is longer than the center front. So I will go ahead and trim it out. To do that, I will fold my dress into two like this, then arrange it. I'll make sure it's equal. So NEPA has interrupted the lights and I'm still going to continue like that. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will go ahead and sew it down like this, okay, with 1/2 inch. So guys, I'm done sewing it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and join the front and the back together. So I will first of all go ahead and join the shoulder together. So you can go ahead and join the shoulder together the way you normally join your shoulder together. But if you want the shoulder of your own to be neat, then go ahead and use this method I'm about to use. I will go ahead and pick the front part like this, okay, right side facing each other. I will place it like this. Then I will open up the back armhole like this. I will just use it to cover the front shoulder. Then after covering it, I will go ahead and pin it down. After pinning it down, then I will push the armhole of the front part inside, then pin the armhole of the back. I hope you guys understand. Just watch out what I'm doing in case you don't understand what I'm saying. I will just pin it to the armhole, then pin it to the side. I will take it to the same machine. I will sew the shoulder like this with 1/2 inch. Then I will sew the armhole. After sewing the armhole, I will sew the side as well. Then I will also go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. So guys, I'm just sewing it. This is how it look like. I will just turn it to the front like this. So after I was done turning it to the front, this is how it look like. I will just go ahead and iron it. So this is the skirt part of the gown. I already have a tutorial on my YouTube channel on how to draft and cut a skirt. So I did not show that in this video because this video, as you can see, is already too long, more than 20 minutes already. I make sure the lining is 1 inch shorter than the main fabric, okay? So you understand that after you are done sewing it. So what I'm going to be doing next is to go ahead and lining it. I will just go ahead and open up the skirt like this. Then I will place the lining at the front part of the fabric. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down first. So when you want to sew your skirt or you want to sew a gown, make sure you sew it down first. Remember the lining is shorter than the main fabric. So I'll just go ahead and pin it down. After pinning it down, I will take it to the sewing machine and sew it with 1/2 inch. After sewing it down, then I will drag it to the up like this. I will pin it from the waistline down to the hemline. After pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will start sewing it from the top to the down. Okay, so I'll also go ahead and sew the other side as well. I will sew it from the top to the down. After sewing the front, I'll also go ahead and sew the back. So guys, I'm done sewing it. After I was done sewing it, I went ahead to sew the dart for the back, and I also went ahead to iron in 1 inch for the zip allowance. So what I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and join the two pieces for the back together. So I'll go ahead and place the upper part to the skirt part like this, right side facing each other. I will pin it down. After pinning it, I will take it to the same machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch. Then I will sew this other side. Then I also go ahead and pin the front as well. I will sew it with 1/2 inch. So guys, once I was done sewing it, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and join the back together. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and turn it to the front like this. Then I will place this other one on this other side. Then after placing it, I will go ahead and pin it from the neckline to the hem of the dress. After I was done pinning it, I will measure where I want my zip to stop. So I will measure 20 inches. I'll just mark a point there. From that point I just mark, I'll place my tape like this to the hem. Then I will fold it into two to get the middle. So I'll mark a point there. Then I will just mark it to where the zip is going to stop. I will take it to the same machine and sew that part. The other part is going to be the tearing at the back. So guys, I'm done sewing it. This is how it look like. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and sew my zip on it. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and cut out the flowery design at the down part. If you check the photo on the screen, if you check it down, you're going to see that it has a black flower design on it. So that is what I'm about to do. So I'll first of all go ahead and mark a straight line across my pattern paper like this. So I will place my tape on the line I just marked. I will mark 10 inches like this, okay? Then I will divide that 10 by 2. I will mark the midpoint, which is going to be 5. I want the wideness of this flower to be 5. Then I will mark a cross across this point I mark at the middle. So I will just go ahead and measure what I have here. Each length should be 5 inches round, okay? So I will mark 5 inches here. Then I will mark 5 inches at the top here, which is going to give me a total of 10. So I will just go ahead and mark 5 like this. Then this other side I will mark 5 like this. Then I will place my tape at the down like this. I will mark 1/4 inches upward, as in quarter. I'll just mark it small, just mark small inches upward. Then I'll go ahead and mark a curved line like a leaf shape from that 1/4 inch to the top like this, to the tip. Then I'll do the same thing for this other side. Just go up by 1/4 inch, then draw a leaf shape from the down to the top. Then I will do this other side like this. It's very easy, just take your time and do it. So once I was done marking it, I'll go ahead and cut it out. I will cut out this part like this. So after I was done cutting it out, this is how it look like. So I'll just go ahead and iron my fabric. I'm going to be using this black Mikado. Then I'll go ahead and iron gum stain on it. If you have cloth stain, you can go ahead and iron cloth stain. Then I'll pin the flower on it like this. After pinning it, I will just go ahead and cut it out. And I'm going to be cutting out 3 pieces for the three flower design at the down of the dress. So guys, I have 3 pieces here. And as you can see, I went ahead to iron gum stay at the down. Okay, you can see how beautiful the shape is. So I'll just go ahead and open up my dress like this. I will just iron it just to make the down straight. I will just go ahead and arrange it properly like this at the down from the side to this other side. You can see how the three of them are pointing each other. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and use this hemi gum to secure it down before sewing it. So just go ahead and cut that hemi gum, place it at the down like this, and iron it. After I was done ironing it, I will take it to the same machine and sew it. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I am doing this. This is me sewing it. Just go ahead and sew it through the edge, okay? And when you are sewing it, just take your time and arrange it. Don't be in haste to finish it. Just make sure you use your hand to open it wide, just like as you can see me doing, so that after sewing it, you not have issues with squeezing and all that. Is this squeezing or ruffles? Rough sewing. I hope you guys understand. So I'll just go ahead and sew it till I sew the three. After I was done sewing the flower to the dress, I went ahead to shaping my dress. So I believe as a fashion designer, you should know how to shape your dress. But in case you don't know how to shaping dress, then get ready to join my beginners online class. So if you want to see it, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and also follow me on Instagram. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and gum this stone on it. You can make use of any stone of your choice or any bead of your choice. Just go ahead and gum it around the flower, the shape. Okay, so for me, I will not be doing that in this video. I will be wearing my dress like that because I don't have strength to bead anything right now. I have a lot of tutorials to do. So guys, that is all for the making of this.